Hi, welcome back to Find the Answers. This is the last tutorial in our series on conducting a comprehensive literature search. We're using a scenario based on the ILP assignment that medical students complete in Determinants of Community Health Year 2, or Doc 2. In the first 3 tutorials in this series, we formed our search question: what is the effect of wearing a helmet on incidence of head injuries in people playing hockey? We also learned about databases like Medline, where we can conduct comprehensive literature searches for evidence. Finally, we ran a search in Ovid Medline using subject headings. In this tutorial, we'll learn some advanced techniques to improve our search, including keywords, quality filters, and limits. The decision of whether or not to revise your search depends on what you're working on. What level of comprehensiveness does the project require? Also, how do your results look after your first efforts? Are they on topic? Do you feel like you're missing something? When you're revising a search strategy, you can affect your search results in 2 ways: by either increasing the recall, the number of articles you retrieve, or increasing the precision, the level of relevancy of your articles. To improve your recall, you can use keywords in addition to your mesh headings, which we used in the last tutorial. To improve the precision, you can search for a specific method, what we call a quality filter. Limits narrow your results by date, language, or any of a number of qualifiers. Let's start with keywords. When you do a keyword search, you're looking for articles that mention that word in the title, abstract, or that have that word in the subject heading, mesh in Medline field. One case in which you should use keywords is when there isn't a good subject heading. We were lucky in our search and found good mesh terms for all concepts. For example, sports and craniocerebral trauma. If the concept you're searching for is very specific or very new, it's entirely possible that there won't be a mesh heading. The other case in which you should use keywords is if you're doing an extremely comprehensive search as for a systematic review. In cases like this, you won't want to trust the indexer. They might have missed a great article. In my experience, when using keywords in addition to subject headings, your recall will increase, but some of these extra articles won't really be on topic. When you're doing a systematic review, you have to sift through these in order to find the relevant articles. Let's go back into Ovid Medline. I'll show you the techniques for revising your search using our outcome concept, head injuries. I've got an exploded subject heading, or mesh, search done for craniocerebral trauma, which you'll recall from the last tutorial is the subject heading that corresponds to head injuries. To run a keyword search for the term head injury, deselect the Map Term to Subject heading box, type head injury, and press Enter or click Search. And you can see how many results we get in the search history. Not as many as with our subject heading search, which makes sense because that captured many more synonyms. There are a few techniques to use when keyword searching to further increase your recall. The first of these is called truncation. Truncations are accomplished in Medline and most databases by using an asterisk. Type head injure asterisk to search for head injury or head injuries, and click Search. We get many more results. When keyword searching, it's a good idea to use more than one synonym. You'll probably have ideas about the different ways people might describe head injuries and the specific head injuries you're interested in, but an excellent way to find more is to check the Used For section of the scope note for your mesh headings. In the scope note for craniocerebral trauma, we have lots of different combinations of head or craniocerebral or the various lobes of the brain and so on, with injury, injuries, or trauma. You can enter all of these synonyms on the same line, for example, head injure asterisk or head trauma asterisk, or run separate searches and combine them afterwards. But before I spend an age and a half typing them all out, another trick when using keywords is to use proximity and adjacency operators along with our truncations and or combinations. The syntax in Ovid for adjacency is ADJ. If we say bracket, head, or craniocerebral, or temporal region, N bracket, ADJ bracket, injure asterisk or trauma asterisk N bracket, we'll get any arrangement of these terms. The ADJ stands for adjacent. Let's run this search. Okay, we get a lot more results. You can also add a number after the ADJ to say you want those search terms to be within a certain number of words of each other. For instance, if an article mentions an injury to the frontal lobe, our search terms are within 3 words of each other. Let's use 3. Okay, we get twice as many results this time. We still don't get as many as in our exploded mesh heading search, and that's because that included all the narrower terms like brain injuries and the specific injuries like concussions, etc. You can see what an undertaking a systematic review search really is. Now, let's combine our latest keyword search with our mesh search. Let's combine them with OR since they're all part of the same concept. Remember, OR means more. Alright, so this time we get more articles than with our subject heading search alone. If we went through and included all the specific head injuries as keywords, we'd have even more. So finding lots of articles is great, but it's also great to filter your results to get the most appropriate methods using what we call a quality filter. When we were planning our search, we thought surveys and questionnaires would be the most appropriate methods for our question. You can search for study types as mesh headings. Since we've learned how to find mesh headings in the last tutorial, I'll just type in the terms which I know, followed by a slash, which tells the database I want subject headings. I'm combining questionnaires and surveys with OR, since they are both appropriate methods. In other words, either questionnaires or surveys are relevant. Quality filters and limits, which we'll talk about in a minute, are the last steps in your search. You should usually combine the searches for your PICO concepts and then apply the filters and limits. In this example, we're simplifying things by just working with our outcome concept. Let's combine our quality filter with our combined outcomes search. This really reduces our hits. A quick note, be careful when using quality filters as some mesh headings exist for the method as the topic of the article. For example, RCT as topic. You usually won't be looking for articles about doing research, but rather for research articles. The scope notes make it clear if this is the case for your mesh. Another way to quickly narrow down your search is by using limits. While quality filters narrow your results based on methodology or other indications of quality, limits narrow your results by things like date or language. The limits are included below the search area with a box to click to see additional limits. Let's click here and scroll down. So beyond date and language, there are several other categories of limits. You can limit to a specific species, such as humans, if you're finding a lot of animal experimentation articles. Clinical queries are calibrated search strategies for finding the best quality articles on therapy, prognosis, and other topics. You can also limit to journal subsets, such as core medical journals. And the list of limits goes on and on. Note that the publication type has some methods, for example RCT, but that the mesh headings find the same articles and the list of publication types isn't exhaustive. Another note of caution, the limits to full text and Ovid full text are not comprehensive to our collection at U of T. It's best to click the Get It links in your search results to do an eResources search or catalog search if it's only in print. Okay, so let's limit to English and 2000 to the present and click Search. Again, this really reduces our hits. Now our search is done and I'll start to look through my search results. I'm sure that with the methods I've used, there will be some great articles to use for my ILP assignment. In this tutorial, we looked at ways to revise your search strategy. We increased the number of search results using keyword searching with truncations and adjacency operators. We also looked at ways to narrow our results using quality filters and limits. This concludes our series on conducting a comprehensive literature search. If you need help with your own lit searches, you can always get help from a Gerstein librarian. You can find all the ways to contact us on the Ask Gerstein page.